Hi, I'm Corey, and I have too many tapes. Unlabeled tapes are my favorite gamble. Sometimes they're just blank, sometimes they were someone's only method of recording days of our lives, and, well, sometimes you hit pay dirt. What we have here is a genuine rarity, a time capsule preserved on magnetic media. This right here is the September 5th, 1992 lineup of SNICK. That's right, SNICK. Saturday Night Nickelodeon, the obsession of any quote-unquote 90s kid. And this isn't just any SNICK, this is a formative SNICK. This is the fourth ever SNICK. Packed to the gills with all of the strange attitude and innovative programming that would go on to define this Saturday night lineup. You had Clarissa Explains It All, you had Roundhouse, you had Ren and Stimpy, you had Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that was it, actually. It was 4 shows, 2 hours. It felt a lot longer back then. Then again, everything did. Christ, I'm old. So what we have is a portal directly to 1992. So you know what we're gonna do, right? Of course you do. We're gonna review the commercials. The couch! There's something so novel about that big orange couch. It was never fully explained, but the fact that there's this one visual element that ties together this entire disparate lineup of television shows is actually kind of genius. The couch is a legend. I need the couch. Someone get me the couch!
This is George Bush, coming here to tell you about the 1992 MTV Video Music Award.
A glitchy ad for the 1992 MTV Video Music Awards hosted by Dana Carvey, where he's doing a George Bush impression, is an item of 90s nostalgia so potently cursed that it needs to be kept away from human consumption. I get that Dana was a huge star, what with SNL and Wayne's World and everything, but nothing about him really screams MTV to me. Maybe this is a curse of hindsight, but when I look at him, all I can think of is turtle, turtle. But check out that lineup. And check your local ticket vendor. You can probably see most of them at mid-tier amphitheaters touring in small groups this summer and every summer until the nostalgia circuit dries up. Next up, Micro Machines. Straightforward toy sale, normal stuff, nothing too, oh my god, go back. Micro Machines racing time. He's hideous. He's horrifying. He's perfect. I love him. Welcome, Carman. What can you teach us? In fact, you're going in this corner for the rest of the video. Constantly morphing, constantly changing, constantly being the best. Thank you, Carman. Thank you for everything that you do.
Our collection. Here comes Richard Petty's ST.
Listen, Micro Machines, the only thing I want now is more Carman, and you obviously can't provide it, so we have to move on. Nickelodeon had an amazing in-house ad team. They were able to wring their brand out of the least on-brand stuff imaginable. Even the Looney Tunes got 90s-ified. They're so hip! There's something special going on here with these commercials. Not to be the overly nostalgic, everything was better in the 90s guy, but it seems like commercials in the 90s, and especially commercials for kids, were just better than they are today. There's a playfulness to this stuff and a sincere lack of polish, experimentation even. It feels like either these big brands were hiring upstart ad agencies to try to reach this demographic they didn't understand, or they were just letting their Gen X interns do whatever the hell they wanted. Case in point, this next ad. There are 2 of these, How to Be Seen and How to Be Heard. They're mixed media ads with a weird collage aesthetic and barely any brand imagery. They're pure experiential style pieces, and I have nothing but respect for the craft on display here, surprisingly. I don't have anything funny to say about these, they're just pretty. More like these, brands. I want more pretty. Give me pretty. And now to the set of Who Framed Roger Rabbit for a manic 90s cereal commercial! Every 90s cereal commercial takes place in a gigantic, cavernous house. A lot of room for activities in the kitchen, a lot of space for chaos and magic and attitude. I'm a sucker for a magical transformation in a commercial. How do we show a sugar rush on screen in a way that won't terrify parents? I don't know, just have glitter or something and have him spin, have the kid turn into a bird, I don't know. How do we connect with the kids? Can the bear do a hip-hop? I'm starting to realize that I'm never going to be as cool as these kids, and it's starting to bum me out a little bit. Can't use too much of this footage, or I'm going to get a nonagenarian mouse with a money vacuum attached to my bank account, but I think these commercials are a perfect counterpoint to the tone so far. There's something so fundamentally uncool about these commercials. Unhip. And it's not even that these toys are for girls in any sort of appreciable way. It's just that Disney has its feet so firmly set in its immutable brand, and they're not even really going to try to change it until The Lion King, and that's still a couple years away at this point.
All the magic of the new Disney movie, Beauty and the Beast.
I gotta take points away from this toy. That sculpt is horrifying, and not in a fun Carman way. Ah! No, put it back! I take everything back! The prince is so creepy and dead-eyed, and that blonde girl knows it.
More Roundhouse on Nick. More time to SNICK.
Teens.
A quick fill-up, check the upholstery, and get the cushions realigned.
I love seeing this couch out and about. I'd watch a movie about this couch. Where are you going, couch? What is your life?
You won't find them in Never Never Land. They're not squishy and sweet, and they don't make you go goo-galoo.
This video is a Nickelodeon thesis statement if I've ever heard one. All cartoons are attitude. You are special because you are loud. I am screaming now because I am a Nicktoon. Is this anything? Is this a brand? Apparently yes.
Turn to the Nicktoons. Tomorrow starting at 10, 9 Central on Nick.
I couldn't get this tune out of my head till I heard these flowers.
Are you a cool teen who doesn't do drugs but does have rich parents? Then do we have the video game for you. It's Mario Paint!
It's raining cats and dogs in harmony.
I don't know, I may just be jealous because my parents could never afford one of these. I feel like we got an entire generation of Flash animators out of this one game though, and this commercial in particular is stamped like a looping sprite in some weird corner of my childhood memory. If there's one thing that SNICK had a lot of, it was house ads. There's no way you leave a half hour of watching SNICK without knowing what network you're on. Some sold you on the brand, some sold you on the programming, but most of them seemed like they were selling you on a lifestyle. And honestly, it worked like a charm. Nickelodeon was formative to so many people in my generation. It provided us with must-see TV and conversation with our friends and at school. It was the default channel you'd pick amongst a growing sea of TV channels to choose from, and no other commercial in this collection says it quite as succinctly as this one.
Every day you have to walk the dog. Go to school. Say please. And thank you. Oh, aren't you glad there's Nickelodeon every day?
It's so short, but it's such a statement of purpose. Nickelodeon was a comfortable place to rest. A release from the doldrums of day-to-day childhood before we all had all of the information in the world in the palm of our hands. Okay, this is not necessarily a phones but too much episode, but you know what I mean. I'm really coming across as a sort of old guy who wants you to get off my lawn, aren't I? For the loners and weirdos, Nickelodeon was a friend. I have fonder memories of Stick Stickly than I do of any child I met from the ages of 6 to 10. In some ways, this is all a comfort. In other ways, it's a little bit sad. Sure, we were being sold sugar cereal and action figures, but there was this weird reverse double backflip Gen X cynicism to it all that kind of made you feel like you were in on the joke and they were in on the joke, and it made it all feel vital and worthwhile. I should really make a joke at some point. Anyway, after all of that philosophical rambling, I'm feeling a little tense. It's time to get loose. How loose, you ask? This loose.
Introducing Levi's loose-fitting jeans.
Yeah, it's loose. 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 Too loose!
A loose
Too loose!
interpretation
Too loose!
of
Too loose! Too loose!
Think of all the mature, responsible.
That is one totally radical kid! This is an absolute 90s staple, the totally radical kid. Totally radical kids had attitude, baseball caps, and a precocious understanding of the prevailing social structures of the day. They were Renaissance kids, totally capable of every situation thrown at them. Naturally, none of them existed in real life, but we all wanted to be the totally radical kid.
It's the mature thing to do.
You see, kids, you used to be able to rent video games from a store. It's not worth it. Not worth my time. R.I.P. and peace, Blockbuster. Gone but never forgotten. Now compare this to the Golden Crisp ad from a little bit ago. It has more in common with a music video than it does with a cereal commercial. Over a dozen different shot setups, so many locations, a lot of mixed media work. This thing is stuffed to the gills. Sure, it's trying too hard to be hip. Sure, it's pandering and a little bit condescending. Sure, it's a freaking cereal ad. But you know what? It's gorgeous. A+, 5 stars, great job. Next.
I love to shop, don't you? I can't believe my ears.
More pandering, along with horrific 90s fashion.
Is a different surprise. Mine says, wanna have a pizza party?
Yay, mindless consumerism. Yay, reinforcing horrible gender stereotypes.
Cool. What's you gonna say next? Listen.
I've abandoned my principles.
You won't believe your ears are eyes. Teen Talk Barbie. What a surprise.
Each Teen Talk Barbie doll says 4 different fun things. Barbie dolls each sold separately.
Teens.
Here's us.
Here's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Here's my Aunt Louise.
What did I tell you? Another cavernous kitchen and another totally radical kid.
Cinnamon and sugar.
No way. It's packed with the taste of cinnamon.
It's weird to think that this kids versus adults dynamic for Cinnamon Toast Crunch has been going on since I was a baby.
Crunch, part of this complete breakfast.
When will this war ever end? How long must we struggle? I believe there can be peace in our time. Cinnamon Toast peace. The peace you can see.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
Why always with the nightmares? Did I sign up for the Nightmares Club?
Buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me. Kids.
Didn't they make an entire horror franchise about these dolls? Isn't there another one of those movies coming out in like 2 weeks? I gotta look at the Carman again. Yeah, that's right. That's the ticket. You're a good boy. Such a...
From Play School.
I dreamed I gave a magic tea party with Pinky for me and you. And with my magic tea party dream came true.
I can't pretend to make fun of this ad. My sister had these, and I may have used them more than her. What can I say? I'm a sucker for color-changing plastic. Not to mention I'm fancy.
The Magic Tea Party comes with everything here.
These kids aren't radical at all. They look sad. Sadical, even. But Punchy is here to pour barely melted sugar down their gullets and make everything better. Now they're radical. Glowing, apparently. Turns out the secret to Hawaiian Punch's great taste is a healthy dose of gamma radiation. Come on, chuds! Let's start dance fighting to grow our mutant army. You know, I gotta hand it to him. For a drink that's one step above those little hug barrels, the 10% fruit juice content is actually kind of impressive.
It's not just red anymore.
Violence and red dye number 40. Punch! And that does it for this tape. SNICK has been snugged. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit the weird notification bell or whatever down there. And leave me a comment about what your favorite 90s commercial is. I'd love to see it. And if you donate on Patreon, you get early access to the next video, and you also get your name in the credits right here in a place of honor and power. That's it for this week. I'm going to leave you with what is probably the Rosetta Stone of my entire personal aesthetic. And I'll see you next time on Too Many Tapes.
SNICK, past tense. You have snicked, we snicked, they will have snicked. It is post-SNICK. You can snick again next Saturday night on Nickelodeon.
Check it out. This is the Nicktoons, new tunes, not just any cartoon. Doug, Rugrats, and the Rent and Stimpy Show, yo. Here we go, because we got a lot in store. We got a chubby cat, a skinny dog, a chilly dog, a get a log, a bully, or a baby in a diaper getting hyper like Doug's funny, dreaming of his honey patted mayonnaise. Listen to what I say. I'm talking about the slick tunes, sick tunes, the one you gotta pick tunes. Yo, I'm talking about the one and only Nicktoons.
Nicktoons, Sundays, starting at 10/9 Central, only on Nick.
Punch!